Who are you and where are you from?
I'm Karen and I'm from Buwanha Guulany, which is in Lakes Entrance.
Yep. Tell me a bit more about yourself.
Oh,
Yeah, where do you go to school? What grade you in?
uh,
What you doing?
yeah. I go to Woodleigh School. I am currently doing year 11 at Woodleigh. Yeah.
What do you like? What other hobbies do you have?
Oh, stuff like that. I used to play football and basketball before coronavirus.
What makes a person an elder?
It makes them an elder is when an Aboriginal person is elderly, I guess, and teaches you all about their knowledge and stuff.
Okay. Do you actually have a favourite elder?
Probably my grandfather.
Yeah.
My Genka.
Yeah. Why? Why is he special to you?
Because he teaches us all about his history.
What qualities make up an effective Aboriginal leader?
Just leadership, teaching other kids about their culture, and I guess teaching it on to their people.
Do you actually have an Aboriginal hero?
I look up to my dad, my great grandmother, and Dan Sultan. He's a singer.
So you're talking about your dad. What qualities of your dad do you admire the most?
Just the way he tells stories and Aboriginal stories and stuff like that. The way he teaches, because he's a resi worker. So he teaches that every day. So it's just amazing what he does.
The other one, who was the other one? Your grandmother?
My great grandmother.
Great grandmother, yep. What do you admire about her?
Her stories. Because she was a very passionate woman about Aboriginal culture and stuff like that.
You mentioned Dan Sultan. Yep, what do you admire about him?
His music, his culture, and all that.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
I would hopefully have a good job, so either with animal studies or something to do with my Aboriginality, maybe.
Yeah.
And then have my own house and stuff with friends and yeah.
How do you define racism? Yeah.
Someone who says something like, "You're not Aboriginal," you don't look at something along those lines.
Yeah.
Saying you can't be, you're white. So, yeah.
Explain a time that you have faced racism. What happened and how did it make you feel?
I don't know if it's really racism, but in primary school, me and my little brother Philip were the only Aboriginal kids in the school. And the popular group would always just pick on me deliberately because I was different colour skin to them. So, didn't really like it. I would normally just come home, go to my room and not come out till dinner.
How long did that go on for?
Year 4 to year 6, maybe.
Wow.
And
So
the school were it's not happening, don't be silly, stuff like that.
Do you think that racism's changed over time or do you think it's still there?
There is always position for change in racism, but it definitely has changed from when I was a kid. There's the Indigenous round for AFL now, and there's a whole other bunch of different things to stop racism.
So what makes you proud of being Aboriginal?
Family.
Yeah.
So my great-grandmother ran the Dandenong Co-op, so I'm very proud of her for what she did. And I'm just very proud of both my family's histories and culture.
What are some stereotypes out there about Aboriginal people?
Oh, they kill animals for no reason.
Okay.
Like they kill possums for no reason. Or I heard this one a couple of years ago. I haven't heard it since, but it was funny. That we used to ride kangaroos to school. My little brother used to say, and then he told all his friends about it.
Yeah.
So now they all think we ride kangaroos.
Or if I said, Karen, here is 5 minutes to your whole school. I want you to express what it's like to be Aboriginal. What would you say and how would you do that?
I would talk, like what would I talk about?
Yeah.
The different ways we get treated because we're a different coloured skin. To stand up to racism if it see it a lot. And to respect the person if they're black, white, or any different race. Just respect them as a human being.
What aspects of Aboriginal culture do you feel has been lost within your family?
Language.
Yeah.
I've lost.
Could your grandmother speak language?
She's from Yorta Wemba. So she's from Moonacolour. So I sang her song at assembly with language in it.
Yeah.
So she knew her language, but she never actually spoke it because she felt like she was breaking the rules.
What parts of Aboriginal culture does your family embrace?
The dance. So every Tuesday I have Aboriginal dance group with Aboriginal girls.
Yeah.
And we all just do Aboriginal dance, hip hop, all different ones. So I reckon dance and art.
So where do you do that at?
Oh, Somerville Community Centre before coronavirus. But at the moment we're doing it online.
How hard is it to identify as being Aboriginal?
Well, I went to Frankston one time and this guy, he was like maybe 90, and he started talking to me and I was like, oh, okay, he's just being friendly. And he thought I was from New Zealand. So I get like, are you from New Zealand or are you like something else? Or, and I'm like, no, I'm Aboriginal.
And when you say you're Aboriginal, what often happens?
They look at me, they're like, what?
Or how does that make you feel when people actually question you?
Sometimes I feel really awkward, I guess. Awkward. And I'm very ashamed when people refer to me as someone else that I'm not.
What are some terms that often people still throw around?
Abo is a big one. You're not Aboriginal, you're white. Well, I think they're the main ones I hear.
What do you like about Woodleigh School in terms of the other Aboriginal kids?
They embrace the Aboriginal culture with Reconciliation Week. So, like, they want Aboriginal students to speak up and, like, you know, talk about their Aboriginal culture and stuff.
Now, you've been in the school since you're in year 7?
Yes.
Yeah. So you've been there, what, 4 years? 5? You're in year 11,
5.
aren't you? You're in year 11. Yeah. Has your experiences changed at the school since you first started to now?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. What ways?
I've learnt a lot more culture from Mr. Aldenhoven over the years, and being able not to have to be ashamed of my Aboriginality there.
What other programs and supports does the school put in place for Aboriginal kids?
So Pathways is a very big support system. So it's like got a psychologist and some other stuff. And then they also have this Indigenous group meeting once a month to like see what they can do Aboriginal wise, like go see an Aboriginal movie or something like that. And then they also have these Aboriginal kids from Northern Territory come down once a year and you just connect with them. They also have a mentor program with AJ that comes in once a term to teach us about more culture and games and group other stuff.
If I paired you with a young, I don't know, year 3 student in the primary school and said, you be their mentor, where would you start this mentoring relationship with them?
Well, I kind of do have that because I'm the oldest cousin on my dad's side, so they all kind of like look up to me, I guess. And the same with my little brother. So he always asks me questions like, trying to think of one.
That's all right.
Why do people always be ashamed of why I'm black? And I'm like, oh. Sometimes I won't know the answer and I go, oh, go ask Dad. Because Dad will give you a better understanding of words than me. So like kind of teach them not to have any shame of their culture or who they are as a person.
Do you feel supported by the other Aboriginal kids in your school? Yeah, how do you provide support to each other?
You kind of just talk to each other about like what's wrong or anything like that, or if there's like any like, I guess, racism, you talk to them about it, because then they will have a better understanding than other people, I guess.
But thank you very much for sharing everything you did. Much appreciated, because you actually shared quite some raw emotion there as well. Okay.
I will.
Okay.
Okay.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
Karen.